These past few weeks, I have been feeling incredibly inadequate. And that's not to say that technically I don't know that I'm doing a lot, because I can recognize that I am doing a lot. I am the primary homemaker, I am the primary parent, the stay-at-home parent, and over the last couple of weeks I have been working on publishing my debut novel for pre-orders, which is a lot of work. I have essentially been my own publisher. I have hired an editor, I have hired a cover artist, and I have done absolutely everything within my power to make this book the best and the most professional that it can be. And that in itself is a full-time job. But of course, that is not my only job. I also work full-time from home, and I am the default parent. And of course, that just comes with a lot of things that fall through the cracks as I work on various processes. So this week, I thought it would be good to focus just on my home, in getting my kitchen and living room and dining room back to working order. And while that was not as easy as it sounds, because all of my family was sick the week that I filmed this, it did get done, and I am recognizing that the habits I have put in place over the years to work with my own neurodivergence have really been beneficial. If you are new here and you don't know me, I am Kristina. I am a late diagnosed neurodivergent mom of 5 kids. I have been the stay-at-home parent for the majority of my parenthood journey, and I have also worked from home for most of that time. On this channel, I like to talk about my own neurodivergent tendencies and how those interact with homemaking, which I love to do. I like to share my creative processes of sewing and writing and painting, and I like to share recipes and crafts and all sorts of budget-friendly things that you can do in a home. In my house, we don't judge messes. We just learn how to take care of them without shame, because mess is morally neutral. When I am taking care of my home, I generally start cleaning in the living room. I have a very set routine. However, I have also been cultivating a sourdough starter, which I revived from dried up sourdough starter that my friend gave me. And so I wanted to start in the kitchen this week because I wanted to make bread. Sometimes it's the little things like baking that motivate me to get things done that I don't normally like to do. Since we do not have a dishwasher, if we're not keeping up with the dishes rigorously and regularly, they can pile up pretty quickly. When you have 7 people living in one house, it is very easy to get through all of the dishes and have a sink full of dirty items to be washed by the end of any given day. If I'm being really honest, I have been struggling with what to say in this voiceover. I have gone back and forth for quite a while now on how much I want to share of myself on the internet. I had a video go pretty viral for me about 6 months ago, and ever since then, I've just been debating whether sharing that much is right for me and my mental health. But at the end of the day, I've kind of been reminded by a lot of you who are so kind with your messages and letters that there is another aspect to why I share as much as I do. When I was a young homemaker, I didn't have anyone who thought like me or whose brain worked the way mine did, and I constantly felt ashamed of myself. I was always drowning in housework. I could never figure out how to get it done and keep it done. And I needed someone like me now to be there and say, it's okay, you're not alone, you're not a terrible person for having a messy house, and here's what you can do to keep your home a little bit more homey and a little bit less overwhelming. The sourdough sandwich bread recipe I am making right here is from Farmhouse on Boone, and I will link it down below if you're interested in trying it out for yourself. It works pretty well, it came out pretty delicious, and I will definitely be utilizing this recipe more. I've made it twice now, and every loaf comes out perfect. One of the biggest things I can advise as a mom of five who has learned over the years how to manage both doing housework while having kids who are a little bit more clingy or needy is to involve them in what you're doing. As you could see, he got to turn on the mixer, he got to pour the cups of flour into the mixer, and on other days when my other kids were home, I gave them a little piece of dough to knead for themselves so they could feel like they were part of the process. I think the best way to teach kids about homemaking is to involve them in your processes, which can make things go slower, and sometimes it is just easier to do it yourself, but other times it is a great way to connect with your kids and let them be part of the process and teach them that house care is not a chore. It's not a punishment or something that you have to dread. It can be fun, it can be a connection with others, and it is a way to gently take care of yourself. I have had a few people email or DM me or ask in the comments how much my husband does around the home, or some comment that they would never ever expect their spouses to do a day's worth of housework or lift a finger to help around the house. And I find these comments so fascinating because to me, it's a very simple answer. If my partner was not married to me, who would be doing his dishes? Who would be cooking his food? It's quite simple that as an adult, he would be doing these things himself, and so why would he not do them simply because he has a partner? I am also working, and I am also taking care of kids. The kids are ours, they are not just mine or just his. The house is ours, it is not just mine or just his. It is a quite simple answer to me, but I also understand the comments and the questions because I did grow up around people who believed that housework was a woman's work. I don't mean to be inflammatory or put anyone down for the choices they make in life. However, this is not really where I align, and I think that whatever works the best for you both as adults in the relationship is what you should do. I have always worked, and we have grown to understand that homemaking is part of our marriage as partners. It is not just my task, and it is not just his task. Some days he does more than I do, and some days I do more than he does. On the whole, I enjoy cleaning more than he does. I like things to be a particular way, and so I prefer to do a lot of the things myself. But he will walk in on any given day and look at what needs to be done and look at it through the lens of what he knows bothers me, and he will do those things. On the day when I cleaned up the living room, I decided to do a deeper clean and declutter the majority of my son's toys. We live in a 2.5 bedroom house, which means that there is not a lot of space. What you see me film is pretty much the entirety of our house. I only ever exclude my kid's bedroom and my son's bedroom. So our toddler, who is 2, doesn't have a bedroom as of yet. Whether we add on or move to a larger house, I don't know. But right now, all of his toys live in the living room, and he has gotten quite an excess of toys. I get a lot of people in my comments telling me that I need to declutter, and simultaneously people saying that I have a nice big house. And I think that a lot of you who comment these things don't understand that we don't have a very large house. For 7 people, it is actually quite small. While it's not a tiny house, and I think it is a very nicely sized home, it is also not large. We don't have a playroom, we don't have an office, we don't have any extra bedrooms. We had to add on a bedroom for our son, who is our oldest son, and even that space is not very large. I already try to keep my kids' toys fairly minimal, and oftentimes it's not the fact that I need to declutter, it's the fact that we just don't have the storage space or the space that many people with our family size would have. There's no garage, there's no attic space, there's no shed. There are no extra storage areas in our home. Which is okay, and I don't think that that's a terrible thing, but it does mean that all of you see pretty much everything that we have all of the time. I have been working to make all of our spaces a lot more organized and just work within our means. Part of the reason we live here is because it was affordable. It was at a time when our in-laws offered to help pay for the down payment, and paying for a mortgage is and continues to be cheaper than paying for rent. I am so thankful for our home, even if it's not a dream home and I would have chosen something else. I'm thankful for the space, and I especially love that we have almost 5 acres to live on and garden and for our kids to run and play. And in fact, living here is part of the reason why I think it's important to talk about homemaking that is customized to you. My house is definitely not the super aesthetic, super minimalist home that a lot of influencers have, but I don't really think of myself as an influencer. I just have this channel to share life, real life as it is, with the messes on the floors and the toys under the furniture and the couch that maybe hasn't been swept under in a month because there are just so many other things to take care of. We live life in this house, and I'm not ashamed that it looks like we live life in this house. Honestly, I think social media can be detrimental to everyday lives of people who are just out there living their regular life. While some people are certainly much more tidy than I am, even with the same amount of kids or more, there are people from all walks of life, and not everyone's house looks like a perfect minimalist influencer home. And I'm not saying that that's wrong either, it's just different. I have always told myself that above all else, I never want to stop being real on my channel. And that's not to say that people who set up their shots and film beautiful art are fake. That just means that my purpose here is to share the more vulnerable and messy moments of life in a way that I think social media often doesn't share. Because, of course, a lot of people find shame in mess. A lot of people are ashamed that they can't do it all, when doing it all is a literal impossibility. I don't know a single person in real life who has both had multiple kids and worked a full-time job and pursued their dreams and had it all and kept it all clean and never had a week or even a month where everything felt like it was falling apart. But I don't think there's anything wrong with setting up the boundary however you need it, of sharing or not sharing however much or however little we share as content creators. I have obviously chosen to show you the messes on my floors and under my couches, but that doesn't make someone else any less real or any less good for not sharing those things. have so many friends on this I have so many friends on this site who are sharing their lives in such beautiful ways that I so enjoy, and knowing them, I know that they are absolutely authentic, even if they are choosing not to share the messes under their couches or in their corners. They are also sharing themselves authentically in a way that feels the best to them, which I think is wonderful. And to be honest, I tried to do that for a while, but it just didn't feel right for me. I didn't feel like I had the same connection with the videos wherein I was putting the messes off camera or trying to share something that was a little more aspirational. That's just not for me. I love to watch those videos, and I love to see how creative my friends can be. I think I have some really talented friends who are doing some amazing work, sharing what they share. And hopefully, I can also be that person for someone. I think the world is a better place if we all have content that is at the heart authentic to ourselves and what it is we love and are passionate about. And I so admire everyone I know who creates a channel of social media content that is so authentic to themselves. Speaking of having been sick over the last week, I decided to make some fire cider, which I have made before and has seemed to work. It is essentially vinegar fermented herbs and such put into a jar and let to sit for a few weeks until it is really intense. And then whenever we have had a cold or otherwise been feeling a little bit under the weather, I think at least that it has worked really well. To be clear, I do also believe in modern medicine, but I really like herbal remedies. There are a lot of herbal things that have been used for hundreds and hundreds of years that are still in modern medicine. This will sit in my pantry for a few weeks, I think up to 6 weeks before I start using it. I would love to know if there are any herbal remedies you like to rely on, because I'm always interested in trying new things. The dining room is the center of our home, which means that it can become the most cluttered with both life things like toys and clothes, and also dishes, as obviously we eat in here. But I've been noticing lately that it has taken a lot less to clean it up than it used to. Back when I started my channel, I was selling vintage clothing out of my home, and the entire corner of the dining room was just my storage area for vintage. I remember feeling so ashamed of how cluttered and messy this room felt.
Trusting your instincts, realize that knowing looks different.
And now looking at it, it just feels so much better.
Authentic, do more exploring, deeper than knowing.
And obviously, we still have a lot of visible storage in here with the shelf in the corner that holds cookbooks and craft supplies, and my china cabinet from my grandma, which has all of my beautiful china in it, and my teacups. But it's so much easier to organize now, and it just feels right for our family.
Until there's peace to your core. Live a life you adore.
I would love to have a bigger house with more storage and more bedrooms and more spaces to work in. But I'm coming to love this home, if only for the fact that it is the first home we ever purchased, and it has served us well. I love our neighbors, I love this town we live in, I love the acreage we have, and a big part of me never wants to move, even though the house might not quite be the size that we need for the family we have.
And finding your wholeness in now. Mute out the chatter, feel it, burn off the fire, let go, until there's peace to your core.
This is a 1930s dishware set called Pedalware. There is no lead in it. For all of you always commenting that vintage dishes can have lead in them, these were not known to be made with leaded glass. I thrifted it a while ago and I thought they were so beautiful, and I can't wait to use them in the summertime when we have more fruit and whipped cream or puddings or any kind of little desserts and ice creams that can go in these. I love reusing vintage items, and just in general having a house that is full of pre-loved items. not only does it save my budget to have thrifted so much vintage over the years, but it also means that I am just reusing instead of buying new, and that is better for the planet. While I might run my dishwater, I also try to buy used things almost all of the time, and I think it evens out in the end.
Burn off the fire, let go until there's peace to your core. Live a life you adore.
Anyway, my friends, that is probably it for this week. I have a really exciting video planned for next week or in the next 2 weeks, and hopefully I can get it all done now that I have sorted out my house and tidied up all of the areas that really needed attention. And of course, I have to mention, as I will be doing for a while, that I have a book out. It is currently available for Kindle pre-orders. It is a Scottish Highlands romance set in the 1700s, and I think it's pretty good. It is currently available for Kindle pre-orders, and soon I will have the physical book orders up as well, so you can keep an eye out on my Amazon page or in my links below, because I will be updating the moment that you can order a physical copy from pretty much anywhere that you can buy books. As always, I hope that wherever you are feeling safe and loved. I hope that you have been able to get the things done that you have wanted to do this week, and I hope that you have a good week ahead of you. I will see you in my next video. Bye!